XRP, what is happening? The government's back up. ETF hit yesterday. It's on Robinhood now. Why is XRP not at $10? Why is it not at $1,000? Let's break down what is actually happening. I think it's very important that we put a lens on from a macroeconomic perspective. And that's what this channel is all about. It's about keeping you calm. It's about keeping you stoic. And it's about understanding that discipline, consistency, time in the markets, like Warren Buffett says, not timing the market is the game. Waiting for a price prediction, waiting for a date, chasing riddlers is going to get you wrecked 100% of the time. I've always told you the meme coin casino is going to get you wrecked. The get rich quick is going to get you wrecked. The only way that you will survive this is having a disciplined, consistent plan, creating cash flow. So when the opportunity comes, you can buy the dip. But we have to put on a different lens now. We have to look at a long-term horizon. There's a whole nother game happening here, guys. We're 18 months after the Bitcoin halving, right? Ideally, it lasts about 18 months. Okay. One person says it's going to go parabolic. The other person says we're in a bear market. One person says that this is going to cause this and this is going to cause this. One person says the first ETF goes and all of a sudden it's going to shoot up to $10. But what we do know and what we do understand is that Ripple, the company, is going to dominate. And what we do know is that XRP is going to change the financial system. And what I do know is that Bitcoin is going to be a new store of value like gold. And now the things that I share with you are things that I'm doing myself. What I want you to do is I want you to follow Warren Buffett. I want you to study Charlie Munger, God rest his soul. Study Ray Dalio, Kathy Woods. Study the changing world order. Study economic cycles. There's something much bigger playing out here. What we're about to experience is a massive, massive tech bubble. Just like we saw in the past, AI is going to boom. There's so many overvalued companies on the stock market. Yes, money's going to flow like water. They're going to stop quantitative tightening on December 1st. They're going to lower interest rates. Tomorrow, I'm going to be talking a little bit more about the 50-year mortgage. You'll own nothing and be happy, the World Economic Forum. And who's the interim head of the Economic Forum? Larry Fink. 50-year mortgages Trump's talking about. And there was some, I think, some fake things going around a 15-year auto loan, but I wouldn't doubt it. So what I'm here to do is keep you calm, to keep you stoic, and teach you how to create discipline and consistency. I'm not bull market sensitive, and I'm not bear market sensitive. I'm system sensitive. I make sure that my system is set. I feed it every single day. So let's break down the news and why I'm still very, very bullish on the long run and the short term. I still think that we're going to see some nice moves on the back end. I still think that we're going to see a really, really good first quarter. It's just macroeconomics, right? They're going to turn on the printing machine. They're going to lower interest rates. Okay. And what's going to happen is things like Bitcoin are going to go up. And what's happening, why Bitcoin keeps going down, is because Bitcoin is the most liquid asset and the fastest to have access to liquidate, guys. It's 24 hours a day. So think about this for just a moment. When Trump posted on 10/10/2025, the reason why 19 billion got liquidated out of crypto, it's open 24 hours a day. He posted that on a Friday right before a 3-day weekend when the markets are closed. When people panic, they go to the quickest thing they can liquidate, which is Bitcoin, right? So all you're seeing is emotion. So Eleanor Tourette posted this yesterday, and at the back end, I'm going to share with you exactly what I'm doing and why I'm so calm through all this stuff. Canary Capital CEO Steve gave this statement on XRP spot ETF. We are very excited to go effective with the first single token spot XRP ETF. This would not have been possible without the leadership of Chairman Atkins, Commissioner Pierce, and all the other fine people at the SEC who are pro free market. So that's something to think about, guys. We went from SEC that was completely anti-crypto to a pro-crypto SEC, guys. So if you're putting on your long-term horizon, you are so early. Now, I'm saying this from experience, guys. The SEC sued Ripple in December 2020, and everybody made fun of me. They got out of XRP, and I accumulated all through 2022, 2023, 2024. Trump gets elected. My XRP went from 17 cents to $3.40, life-changing. right? And we're going to go through the same cycle again. I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't wait for it to happen. I just keep accumulating, and I believe it's going to happen. Okay. So this was posted by Cointelegraph on November 11th. I think that was yesterday, right? Latest 11 XRP ETF products are now appear on DTCC website. Analysts say the end of the US shutdown could open ETF floodgates for XRP. Is $5 next? I don't know. I'm not banking on that. I'm not waiting for it. I believe it's going to happen at some point, and I have my exit strategy set up. Okay. So I want to remind you what Brad Garlinghouse said on November 13th. I think, was it November 13th? Is that November 13th? Or did I post the wrong one here? October 24th. Sorry, I reposted on November 13th. It was just some morning. Is XRP is at the center of all this, right? And then I'm going to come back on the screen and I want to explain to you my strategy, and I'm going to go in detail on my strategy. I'm going to open up Pandora's box and just share with you everything I'm doing. Okay, I'm going to share with you from 2020. I'm going to do some storytelling here all the way to 2025. And I'm going to share with you what I'm about to do from 2025 to 2029. Okay. Brad Garlinghouse posted this on October 24th because I just see the reason why I'm doing this video is so many people are losing faith. So many people are panic selling. So many people are jumping out. That's when you get wrecked, guys. And you shouldn't have got in if you don't believe. That's number one. You should not have got in if you don't understand the asset class. Number two is you should never invest more than you can afford to lose. And number three, do not listen to people saying to leverage your crypto. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's too early, guys. I'm telling you, I'm warning you. Don't do it. There'll be other black swans. Accumulate if you choose to. Hold the line. Okay. Don't invest more than you can afford to lose, because if you're super price sensitive and you're panicking every time it goes down, that means you have too much in an asset class. Okay. With today's close of Hidden Road, now Ripple Prime, Ripple has announced 5 major acquisitions. Okay, we had GT Treasury last week, Rail in August, Standard Charter Custody in 2024, Metco in 2023. And it says, as we continue to build strong solutions toward enabling the Internet of Value, I'm reminding you that all this, that XRP sits at the center of everything Ripple does. Lock in. So that's where I wanted to start this conversation. Okay. I don't invest based on hype. I don't invest on hopium. I don't invest on price predictions. Now, I'm going to be open and transparent with you guys. I had to mature through this. I was preaching the hype and I was preaching the hopium in 2020 and 2021. You know, you can go back and watch my videos from when I started this channel. You've seen the growth in my mindset, right? And that's what we're here to do. And I gained growth in mindset and wisdom through making massive, massive mistakes. Number one, I got wrecked big time. And there was a thing called yield farming. I mean, we were making like 10 grand a day. It was unbelievable. And what happened was, this is very important, is when you get into these types of things where you're making a large amount of money in a short amount of time, right? We've been in a bull market since seems like 2023, guys. It's been bullish for a long time. And so the problem is these influencers are making you believe that you're going to become a multi-millionaire in the next 30 days. And that's what you believe. And that's not how markets actually work. Now, you may have that moment, that Amazon moment, the Apple moment, the XRP, when Trump got elected moment, right? That will come in time if you're in the right investment. Okay. So it's time in the market, not timing the market. Okay. So one of the biggest things to look at is, what is your reason why you're getting into this? Okay. The reason why I got into this. Okay. The reason why I got into this. Oh, let me go back to what I was sharing. Sorry, I lost my train of thought with that. Is there was a thing called yield farming, right? It's like this, some of these off-brand DeFi protocols. Be very careful. I don't let anybody manage my money, man. Like, I hold on to my own crypto. I'm gonna do my own DeFi on regulated exchanges. I'd be very careful in these off protocols, guys, because I'm telling you, I'm just warning you. The big banks are coming in. Regulation is coming in. They're going to liquidate the shit out of some of these exchanges. 1010 was a great example. I've been trying to teach you guys the game from 1920 to 1929. 1913, 11,000 banks were underneath the Federal Reserve. By 1929, they only had 11,000 banks. There was 25,000 banks. And guess what? They collapsed the system and they monopolized the banks. Same thing's going to happen with crypto. We had our first bank come in, SoFi. Okay, is now a traditional bank, kind of a traditional type bank, but now they're offering crypto custody and trading to their customers. JP Morgan's going to allow you to leverage your Bitcoin by the end of the year. Okay, so back in 2020, going back to the conversation, to 2021, we were trying to get rich quick. We were waiting for five. We even have it as a joke on our exit strategy. We had 589 on there, and we're watching the Simpsons predictions, and that's how we were making decisions. And I'm like, this is weird. Like, this is weird. I started to really study billionaires, and I started to study multi-million people that really had wealth. Number one, they don't flex. Number two is they don't buy shit that's a liability. Okay. They have S corps, they have trust, they build things through ecosystems, right? They have structure, they have systems, they have processes. They're making slow, methodical moves, right? Warren Buffett style investing. I read the book Intelligent Investor. I started to look at these as all companies, like future technologies. I started to look at the board of directors, and I started to dive into Bitcoin, like all the facts, figures, numbers, logic, and I started making investments based on logic, not on hype. Because when I was in that yield farming, what happened was it was crazy. They were giving these huge yields. And I think about this, I came from banking. So because of the huge yields, it blinded me to real economics. It literally put blinders on, and I forgot about we were making like 1,000% return on these yield farming. It was like $10,000 a day. It was crazy, right? So it's like an addiction. It was like gambling. I kept going back in and I kept going back in, right? And then all of a sudden I woke up one day and I came in and I looked at my computer and the screen was red. I'm like, for that yield farming protocol, I'm like, what the hell? And I was fairly new to crypto at this point, right? And so I had turned 30 into hundreds of thousands. I was in a bull run, and then the rest was history. But this was my big mistake that woke me up, and this is when I built my strategy now that I call Capital DR. Okay, so I was trying to get rich quick, got in there, woke up, screen's red. I'm like, where's customer service? Went to Discord, all gone. It was completely gone. My money was gone, over six figures. I'm like, holy shit. And that day it woke me up. I'm like, what am I here trying to do? What is the purpose of this, right? So I got out of the hype, I got out of the price predictions, I got out of the riddlers, I got out of the dates, I got out of the waiting for, because it never worked, it never happened. And people just keep moving the what is it called? The line, right? The post line. Oh, this is gonna happen, and your debt's gonna get wiped out on this date, and sorry, just sorry. And it just people kept moving the date, more conspiracy, moving the date, and it never happened. And during that, I watched people. We've coached 14,000 people. So I've watched people literally wait for something and do nothing. So I was like, I'm going to stop waiting. And what I did is I built a system. Okay. So as the crypto shot up in 2020 to 2020, back into 2021, it went up again. That's kind of where we're at right now, right? I still think we're going to see some price appreciation. I feel like it's exactly like 2021 right now. That's what it feels like. November, December, everybody gets all scared, blah, blah, blah. And then, right, then it comes down really hard, right? So I feel like that's our 2025 going into 2026. So when it started to shoot up, I was like, this is unnatural, right? This is I put my logic brain on and my wisdom brain from banking. I'm like, this isn't normal to make this much money in a short amount of time, because I pulled profits. You should pull profits. You should absolutely pull profits. I believe that, right? If you're okay to hold long term, that's fine. But at some point, we're in this to make profits, right? You're not a rubbernecker. You watch it go up and down. So everybody's in a different space, right? So I went from broke on my parents' couch to 30,000 in crypto to high six figures, and it just shot up. And then, but I took that profit. Okay. Now I left 50% in, and I built ecosystems. I kept my bills super lean and mean, like super lean and mean. I still have about the same bills I did from 2021. And so I was reading all these books, like No Lifestyle Creep. And, I started following real wealth, not hype people, not the Lambos, not people flexing. And I was like, okay, so how can I create a brother and sister richest man in Babylon? So I created Capital DR. Okay. I got obsessed with creating cash flow. Now I followed the gurus, 7 sources of income and all this stuff. So I started investing into my companies and expanding my companies. And so what my companies are, just to share with you guys, I'm just going to keep going with this. I want to just be more and more transparent with you guys on how this built. So my first company, I've been at this since 2017. So the 3T Warrior Academy actually started in 2017. We've been in business for quite a while, almost 8 years now. So it started as JV Impacts. It became 3T Fitness, which became 3T Warrior Academy, and it's been an evolving ecosystem. Well, 3T Warrior Academy started to breed all these different companies, right? Because what we did is my CFO worked for free for 4 years. I basically we almost lost the business 5 times. I lost all my money 2 times in the process. That's entrepreneurship, right? But we finally started to figure it out. So what we did was when we made income, we took our income and we put it back into our businesses to create cash flow, right? So then off of that spawned 3T Warrior, had 3T Warrior Academy, Merlin, Smartest Way to Track Your Crypto. I have Refined Integrity, a men's coaching program. I own a financial firm called Freedom Insurance. We have Age of Radio. I have Freedom Asset Management Group. I have multiple different companies that have broken off into these ecosystems, right? So what we did is we created resources. And so every time I made more money, I put the money back into the businesses, right? So that was C, cash flow. I created cash flow. Then A is assets, capital DR. A is assets. So as I made cash flow, instead of buying Lambos, Ferraris, lifestyle creep, I put money back into assets. So everybody ran from crypto. I accumulated and accumulated. So I took my cash flow, which is trash, which is deflationary, inflationary, and I moved it into fixed supply assets. And so I started to stack Bitcoin, XRP, Solana, all the ones I love. And I just kept, and we started doing it for our company too. Well, then I started to get into dividend stocks, right? So then I was taking my income, which income and cash flow are different. I took income and then I put that into dividends, which created cash flow. So I had cash flow coming from business, cash flow coming from dividends, and then I would move that into assets, right? So stacking. Then I had already started my first policy in 2020, right? So I had the ecosystem built. So as we profited, we pull profits, and then we stuff it into max fund policies, right? Which creates leverage. Okay. This is why I'm so calm and I love red. I like the red. I love these buy-in prices. It's fantastic. So when everything is settled down and it starts to come down, I can leverage for my assets. No liquidation risk at 5%, very low. Okay. My money's insured, guaranteed principal. And then I borrow to buy more cash flow, to buy more assets that beat the hurdle rate. And then I created something called de-risk. I'm operating in higher risk, high return dividend synthetic options, right? And I'm de-risking out of every single time I get paid. I'm out. Boom. I'm out. And I every week I get paid off these dividends and I put them back into Bitcoin and XRP, back into Bitcoin and XRP, back into. So I'm always de-risking out. So when I make profits, I de-risk out. And so the reason why I tell you all of this is because this is what keeps me calm. When you are in a system and you understand macro and microeconomics, you understand boom and bust cycles, you understand debt bubbles, you understand economic bubbles. Guys, we're heading into a massive bubble, massive. And when the bubble bursts, I'm going to be ready to buy the dip. And I just keep compounding and it gets bigger and bigger. Right. So I went from losing everything in 2020 because the pandemic, lost my income because I was working in the business, to understanding how to get on the right side of the cash flow quadrant. When my income came back, I took the income, I created assets, which appreciated. I created more cash flow. I took the cash flow back into assets. I created protection, right? From the protection, I created leverage. From the leverage, I borrowed to multiply my money. And every time I make money, I de-risk into things that are safe. I think Bitcoin and XRP are safe. You have to figure out, maybe it's gold, maybe it's silver for you. But the reason why I'm doing that in fixed supply assets is because, guys, we're going into a bubble. There's a major AI bubble forming right now, guys. The stock market is extremely overvalued. I know you want to believe that this is just going to keep going. I know you want to believe that we can't have another 1929. And I'm not saying it's going to happen in 2026, 2027, 2028, but at some point, the thing has to cool off because that's how it works. There's interest. Imagine a little interest symbol here. You're earning it or you're paying it. There's no real money in the system. So think about this. What I'm going to talk about tomorrow is you're going to own nothing and be happy. There's a 50-year mortgage now. And the people, I guess it was a meme or whatever, but people are saying, Trump was doing the 15-year auto loan, but I guess it was a meme. It was a fake news, but I wouldn't doubt it, right? So if you don't understand how to get on the right side of the debt quadrant, if you don't understand how to beat inflation, that's what you should be focused on. Now, can you make a good amount of money in a short amount of time? Absolutely. My XRP went up 800% from 2020 to 2025. In 4 years, going into the 5th year, I made more money than I would have made my whole life as an executive in retirement. So that's unnatural. So I took some profits and I stored some of it so that my family will be okay. So cash flow should be your concern. Okay. You should be concerned with accumulating assets that when the debt bubble happens or the asset bubble happens, that you're going to be safe and secured and be able to ride this out. You should be adding some protection to your portfolio to protect your wealth, right? Go into your bank and try to take $100,000 out right now, right? It's just a number in a computer. That's all it is, guys. It's just it's someone else's debt. There's no real money in the system, okay? And learn how to leverage on the right side, right? We're leveraging to make ourselves poor every single day. You should be only leveraging to buy more cash flow. Now, let me be very clear. I want to put this warning out there, and I'm going to keep saying this. Like, people that are preaching to go out there and lend against your crypto, guys, it's way too volatile. 2025 should have been your wake-up call, okay? And you've heard me talk about leverage with my Bitcoin, but I want to be very clear on the rules that I created, okay? Of my whole Bitcoin portfolio, I will only ever leverage 25%. I've only done it once, and I explained exactly what I did. I leveraged 25% of my overall portfolio. That 25%, though, we had money somewhere else to right size that very quickly, or more Bitcoin to right size it, just in case the market collapsed. So we put in safety rails, right? Put in the 25% to a DeFi platform. They gave me 70% of the 25, so even lower liquidation risk. The money that we got tax-free at 14% was buying a cash flowing business. Okay. It was already cash flowing. I was connected to an IMO. We built our own insurance brokerage. You want to be in first position, small boutique. I wanted to have my own small boutique brokerage. I already had income coming in, and immediately, as quick as possible, we paid it off. We paid it off in 4 months. So I have zero leverage on my digital asset side, and you should too. You should too. You should be very, 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 very careful. I'm telling you, it's way too volatile, guys. There's going to be more black swans. I'm warning you. There's going to be more black swans, and they are your gift. I never thought I was going to get XRP under $2 again. Okay. So I can't tell you where the markets are going to go. I'm not a chart guy. I don't chase charts. I don't chase candles. I don't chase get rich quick. I'm disciplined, consistent, physically, spiritually, and financially. And that's what you should be focused on, especially if you're the head of household. Your family, your kids should be able to look at you and say, man, my father or my mother, head of household, and fathers, I'm speaking to you. My father is disciplined physically. My father is making me feel safe spiritually and brings that foundation. And I know that everything is going to work out because he's taking care of us financially. And you may be just at the start like I was in 2020, but I finally got my shit together and I said, enough is enough, man. Enough is enough. No man or woman is ever going to tell me what to do with my finances. No man or woman is going to manage my finances. No man or woman is ever going to take away my ability to take care of my family. That's why cash flow is so important to me. And I still got a long run ahead of me, guys. But we built this for personally, capital DR. We built this for our companies. And what we're about to do is increase the enterprise value of our company dramatically by 2029 by using fixed supply assets, by using protection, by building cash flow with our income. And I'm doing the same thing personally. So I hope this helps by me being transparent and open with you guys on exactly what I do, right? But I also want to keep you calm because the reason why I'm doing this video around XRP is because I had somebody call me yesterday, so I'm selling all my XRP on, just like in 2020. Bye, Felicia. I don't know what to tell you. I remember I had a conversation with somebody right in my facility next door. They had $3,000 in XRP. I think they were buying at 13 cents. And it was in early 2020. When it was, they had bought 3,000 at 13 cents, right? So do the math, right? And they walked in to the facility and they're like, my dad just told me that this is a scam. And I said, and their pops, was definitely not wealthy and definitely was a indoctrinated gentleman, right? And he sold it. And I'm like, what are you doing with the $3,000? He's like, I'm going to put it into a CD. Okay. Do the math on what that $3,000 would be right now when it shot up to $3.40 or even at $2.20. And do the math of where that $3,000 at 13 cents will be in 2029. So do you believe in what you're investing? That's the key. I don't care what you invest in. I believe in XRP. I believe in Bitcoin. I believe in Solana. I believe in WFI. I believe in HBAR. I believe in VeChain. Those are my top holdings right there. Okay, I just started stacking American Bitcoin. That's the infrastructure. I'm in some dividend ETFs, right? But I don't believe those are going to be here long term. I de-risk out into what? Bitcoin and XRP. It shows you where my loyalty is, right? My loyalty is with God. I'm talking in the physical world, in the 3D world. My loyalty to God and Jesus Christ. And then I have about 30% of my wealth is insured. I don't play games. It's bottom of the risk pyramid. The insurance ain't going nowhere. They just need to be structured properly. They need to be funded properly. They need to use them properly. Okay, that's why the insurance industry gets a bad rap. That's why I created my own brokerage, so we can help people understand these things. Okay. So that's what I got for you guys. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Remember, I'm not DMing you. I'm not on WhatsApp. I'm not on Telegram. I'm not hitting you up proactively on Messenger. I do not invest people's crypto. I will never ask you to send me money. Manage your own money. I'm an educator. I teach you and educate you and authentically show you what I do so that you can empower yourself to make your own decisions. I came from the banking system. Okay. The old system is just go and trust somebody with your money and just put it in there and hope that the 60-40 works. It's dead, guys. You got to learn how this system works, because I'm telling you what, you're going to own nothing and be happy by 2030. I'm going to show you that video tomorrow. So I love you guys. I appreciate you. As we always say, warriors, let's get your shit together. If you're still here, you need support, click the description of this video down below. You can join our academy. You can learn my Capital DR strategy, or you can join the open academy, get in the live calls, get in the vibe, get in the tribe, see if you enjoy it. There's also a free section here with education. So that's down in the description of this video or in my social media platform. Click the link. I love you guys. See you soon.